Hey, I'm ChristopherJMUA and welcome back to my channel, where we get to open and review the Midas Cosmetics 420 Stash Box. And oh boy am I excited about it. This launched like 2 weeks ago, maybe, that might be right. But apparently they only had like 100 boxes for you to be able to buy for $100. What a coincidence. $100 for 100 boxes. Anyway, they had a very limited supply. And I woke up 10 minutes late to the sale and I missed it. But not the second time. The second time I did manage to get this box. And it is so beautiful and I'm so excited to open it, unbox it, and review everything that's inside. So if you're excited to see that happen, then stay exactly where you are, keep doing exactly what you're doing, and keep on watching. Okay guys, like I said, this box was $100, and the box itself is beautiful. It is called the Stash Box, is the official name. Now, according to the Melt.com website, meltcosmetics.com, this $100 Stash Box comes with the 420 palette with 10 shades of potent ambers and a hit of greens, 2 dank ultra matte gel liners in the shades Wallflower and Spliff, and your choice of 1 glass piece. Must be 21 or older to order, and it cannot be shipped outside of the United States apparently. Now I have taken out the tobacco pipe so that we keep everything family friendly on the channel of ChristopherJMUA. I'm trying to open this box so I can show you what it looks like right now in this lighting. Okay, so here's the whole collection. This photo in here is so bomb. It is so good. And it's on the little card in it as well. So in here we have the palette with the little stringy thing underneath it to pull the palette out. Oh, I put it back in upside down. Sorry. And we also have the 2 liners. And this box is so cool. It has the little drawer on the side of it so you can put all your eyeliners in it, or you can put some brushes in it. It's just really neat. I think it's super, super cool. And it's very hefty. And it's really, really pretty. Eventually, one day, whenever I get enough shelves to do what I plan to do with my beauty room, this will be behind me and it'll be like over here to the side. It's just gonna be really pretty. It's a really pretty box. It's reflective. That was the reason why I ordered the whole kit instead of just the palette by itself, because I had ordered the Smoke Sessions palette as well for a super discounted price. By the way, they were having a sale the first time this launched, but that was when I couldn't get it. So since I left the website empty-handed, I was like, fine, I'm getting a palette. So I ordered that palette. But it all stemmed from this palette right here, this beautiful baby. This is the Midas Cosmetics Rust palette, and I did film a review on this. I'll leave it linked right up here so you can check it out if you want to. This palette made me fall in love with Midas Cosmetics. Based on formula and packaging and just aesthetic in general, it was by far one of the best palettes I've ever used, and it got me hyped up for Melt. It did, I'll admit. So the Smoke Sessions palette is definitely going to be a review by itself, but for now, this is the 420 collection. This was launched for this most recent 2020 420. That was a mouthful. And it is quite a beautiful palette. Also, the packaging is very, very beautiful as well. The aluminum amber type material is just really pretty. Now, these items are also available individually. You don't have to get them in the bundle. The 420 palette by itself is $58. Yes, that's very expensive, but I think it's gonna be worth it. We'll find out. Also, you can get the gel liners, the ultra matte gel liners, I'm sorry. The shade Spliff is $19. The shade Wallflower is also $19. And you can also get your tobacco pipe for $15 if you like tobacco. They also have some apparel and some more stuff for people who like their tobacco. They also have some really pretty lipsticks that were on sale, but I missed out and now I'm not gonna order them. And they also have some eyeliners in there, some pencil liners on there that are also really nice as well, that I didn't order and I'm not going to order because money and quarantine and social distancing. So let's go ahead and open this palette up and let's see what she looks like. All right, here's the palette itself. And it's holographic. It's so cool. It moves and I love it. It's so trippy. And now let's open it up. Goodbye. Isn't it so beautiful? Feel like this shade is giving me Rust vibes. Maybe this shade as well, but everything else looks completely different. It's so beautiful. It reminds me of the Rust palette. It also reminds me of the Urban Decay Naked Honey palette. Maybe a little bit of Naked. And then there's shades in there that I just haven't seen before that are so beautiful by themselves. I have never been one to be drawn to these grungy yellow, green, mustard type colors, but Melt is taking me there on that fantasy. They are. I'm excited. And with our liners, we've got Wallflower and we've got Spliff. Now it's time to zoom you guys in and we're gonna go ahead and swatch this beautiful palette. Come a little closer, baby. I feel like swatching shadow. Our first shade is the shade Shotgun. Next is the shade Faded. Chronic. Then the shade Roll It. Then the shade Dank. Blunt. Next is the shade Shatter. Then the shade Wax. Next is Full Melt. And last is the shade Hash. Okay, and that is every shade in the Melt Cosmetics 420 palette. You guys know, as always, I will insert photos of the swatches, one with flash here, and one without flash here. And here we have a close-up of the swatches of every single shade, up close and personal. I figured I'd also go ahead and swatch the two eyeliners for you guys as well, so you can see just kind of what color they are, and you can actually smudge them out, and it looks really good smudged out. Thought it was worth noting. They look really nice. Now that swatches are done with the palette, I didn't realize that there was only one shimmer in this palette. I don't know how I didn't realize that. It's not like I haven't looked at it, I don't know, probably 40 or 50 times, the picture of it anyway. Actually, even in real life, because the product shots that I took of it, I was looking at it, but I never really truly grasped the idea that there's one shimmer. And I kind of like the idea of only having one shimmer because, in my opinion, it forces you to find more creative ways to use mattes. It's more so a play on lights and darks rather than just depending on shimmer to pull out the details that you want to pull out. Sounds like I'm trying to make a challenge video. Only using one shimmer in my entire eye look. I'm gonna go ahead and start by priming my eyes with my P. Louise base in the shade Rimmer 01, as always. Here we are, yet again. My eye is now primed, and I've changed shirts because I had a stain on my shirt. Why are you so close? I'm so sorry that you have to deal with me being that close. Now this is gonna be third time's a charm sort of scenario, because I have come back with my eye primed twice now, and I have started two different looks, And both times, the moment I go into a deeper color, everything turns into a mess and it gets patchy and I take it all off. And after I did that the other night a couple of times, I was just so frustrated, I just quit. So I'm going to try again today. This is my third time. Because that day, I don't know if it was just me and the way that I was putting on eyeshadow, or if it was just this palette, or if it was just my mood. I don't know what it was for sure, but something was not working multiple times. So I've put up all my brushes that I did use. We're not going to use those anymore. We're not going to taint anything from the previous applications. We're going to start fresh. It's going to be hopeful and successful, and I just have faith that I'm going to love it. So I'm going to start with the Morphe X Jeffree Star JS9 brush. It is a big fluffy brush. My dilemma has been deeper shades just get super patchy super fast. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to use my deeper shades very, very gently and very lightly and build them up as I go. So I'm going to start with the shade Faded. And just so everyone is aware, these shades, or at least the ones that I keep using, are very powdery. There's a lot of kickback in the pan, not really a whole lot of fallout under the eye because it seems like the eyeshadow base catches majority of it. It actually applies all of what's on the brush typically to the eye, so there's not a bunch of fallout there. Just in the pan, there's a lot of kickback, which typically means they're pressed very loosely, which means you pick up a lot of shadow. So there we are with that. You decide what you think about that. Kickback is strictly preference. Some people really don't care, like me. In fact, I kind of appreciate it because it means I control the amount of pigment that I pick up. But it's up to you, you know, whatever your preference is. This is such a pretty green color. It's like an olive. Now, when I filmed my review of the Midas Cosmetics Rust palette, I did a beautiful, beautiful spotlight eye. I'll put that right here so you can see just how pretty it was. I loved that look. And I'm kind of drawing the same inspiration from this palette to do a spotlight, but I really want to do a pop of color and not necessarily in the center of my lid. So that's where my problem lies. But only having one shimmer puts me in a position where I either have to work with lights and darks or I have to just use the single shimmer, obviously because there's just one. And I'm still undecided as to which route I'm going to take for sure. And I'm just using the more fluffier pieces of the brush to give me a nice soft gradient from the actual shadow shade to the eyeshadow base shade. You know, if it didn't take 50 million years for me to do those other two looks that failed, I would so completely show you guys, but it would just take way too much time. Way too much time. But thus far, this shade is working just like it has every other time I used it. I actually used it in both previous looks, and it applies nicely, it builds up nicely. It's very, very pigmented. It's a very nice, soft shade that blends out really, really well. I had literally no issues out of this shade at all. Any of the times I've used it. Okay, I think we have a really pretty, solid base down. Oh, I've got to remember that I have these gorgeous liners to use also. So we're gonna have a brown and green wing. Or maybe an ombre wing. Oh, have I fallen in love with ombre wings? Since I did my Anastasia Norina Volume 4 palette review, which I'll leave linked right up here, I did an ombre wing in that video, and I loved it. Yellow to purple ombre wing was gorgeous. So I believe a green to brown ombre wing would also be gorgeous. Now this is where things start to get a little finicky, or at least they have every other time. I want to start deepening things up now, so I'm gonna go into the shade Chronic, and I'm gonna use the Morphe X Jeffree Star JS6 brush. It's essentially the equivalent of the Morphe M433 brush, and I'm just gonna use this shade to start deepening up the crease. But this time, what I haven't done before, I've been using this shade like I just normally use shade. I get a bunch on the brush, and I start packing it on, and then I start blending it out. But I'm thinking maybe that these darker shades aren't necessarily pack on shade. Maybe they are build up shades. So I'm gonna tap off the excess, make sure that there's just a little bit on the brush, and I'm gonna start building this shade up in the crease, and only in the crease. Oh my gosh, do we have partial success thus far? Do we have no patch? I don't want to speak too soon, but so far this is looking okay. I don't see a weird patch like last time. No, wait, maybe I do a little bit. Oh, I kind of do. Right in here in this general area. It's like pigment, no pigment. This is what happens every time I use this shade or the shade Roll It. I'm just going to try and build it up. I'm not going to take this off and start again. I'm not. I refuse to this time. There is so much kickback in this pan. Oh my goodness. I really don't mind. Actually, it's kind of gratifying for me whenever it is messy and then I just get to blow it off and then it's beautiful again. It's satisfying. So good news, this is building up, not super gross and patchy like it has been. It's just the shade, I think. Something within the pigment maybe makes it maybe a little more dry of a formula, and it just doesn't seem to want to sit flush on top of other pigments. I just wanted to pull you in close up for just a second so you can see what I'm talking about. The shade is on. You can see it clearly that it's on the actual eye, but you can also see that it's built up out here, and then as it goes into the crease, it gets this patch where the pigment isn't solid anymore, and then it breaks up again as you go higher up into the crease. And I don't understand why. I'm not doing anything that would cause that to be happening. Just wanted to show you what I'm seeing and what I'm dealing with. Common sense would ensue that I just stop using that shade, but no. Here we go. The patches are gone. Okay. I got it. This shade needs to be built up a lot. More probably than most shades I use, or more than I would probably normally build up a shade. But once I packed all of it into the crease and just kept packing and packing and building, the patches are gone. They are completely non-existent. Well, it kind of shows up again as I get to the front up here, but that's just lack of pigment because I've been blending it from here into here. But you can see that it's all built up here now, and the more that I add, the more solid it becomes. So I guess this one just takes a lot of pigment and a lot of building up to not look patchy, which that's fine. I can work with that now that I know that. Was I really just impatient for the other two previously made looks? Was I just so impatient that I didn't want to keep building it up and adding to it? I should be ashamed. Honestly, I'm just so glad that that shade actually built up. I was so disappointed multiple times. I mean, I never quit doing my makeup and just give up. I mean, I have a couple of times, but it's like, it's very unheard of for that to happen. And man, it was a very frustrating experience. Let's just leave it at that. Using the JS9 now, I'm gonna go back over the outer edges of the shade Chronic. I'm not gonna get any more pigment on the brush. I'm just gonna blend out the edges of it. I just wanna give it a little bit softer of an edge, but I'm not gonna touch the crease, period, because I'm scared of messing up that shade since it's so temperamental. Now I want to add a little life back in the look because I feel like it's very dark and kind of vampy looking, which is perfect for me. I love that. But I want some lightness again. So I'm going to use the Morphe Extra. Why am I using all the Jeffree Star brushes? Didn't realize I was really, but this is the JS12. It is a pointy blender brush. And now I'm going to go into the shade Shotgun. And this is going to be the beautiful, bright inner corner of the crease. Now, I might be going in with a bright shade on the inner corner again after this, but right now I am just building up the crease. I might end up doing a cut crease, which would mean the crease work is all of my foundation, and then everything else is going to be built on top of that. But I don't know. I'm going where the wind takes me.
Paint with all the colors of the wind.
You know, I think I'm also going to take this really bright green shade up closer to the brow bone and kind of slide it up over here a little bit, maybe? I know it looks goofy right now and very green and weird, but just have patience. Trust the process. That's what scared artists say when they're not sure if it's going to end right. Now just going to use the JS9 with the shade Faded again and just reapply that shade, re-emphasize it, make sure that Shotgun blends in with Faded and Chronic. I don't like that harsh edge that it gives. It's got a blend, you know? And it's marrying into the crease now. When you marry into the crease, you get all of Faded and Chronic added in. When you marry in, you get all of Daddy's money. You guys, we have been watching this new show on, I think it's on a lot of different things. We've been watching it on Amazon Prime, but Downton Abbey. It's very PG, but it's still very dramatic. It's about a very high-class home in England, but like a very big home, like a big estate. And it's got like serving class and master of the house, his wife, his 3 daughters, the whole family. There's an aunt who's amazing. The same actor that plays Professor McGonagall in Harry Potter. She is a very rich old lady. Anyway, the show is so wonderful. And Mark and I have been stuck on it for probably about the past week. We've been binging it. It's a very good show. If you haven't seen it, you should. It's PG. It's okay to watch with the kids, although the kids probably won't enjoy it because it's very adult PG. You have no idea how much it warms my heart to see this eye look coming together. I'm telling you, I was so discouraged the other day, yesterday, the day before yesterday, I don't remember. I do think I'm gonna go ahead and cut the crease. I'm gonna use my Sigma E62 cut crease brush. This used to be a fantastic brush, but I think I was too rough washing it one day and I kind of made the very sharp tip poofy. But I'm hoping once I get it wet again with cream eye base that it's going to resharpen a tad. I've got high hopes and faith that should be enough to make it sharp. No, it's not sharp, but maybe it'll work. Let's see. Ooh, you know what? Since I am gonna go in with liner and I don't know how creamy or thick these are yet, I'm actually gonna cut my crease with micellar water first, then go in with an eyeshadow base because I don't want to build up too much texture on my eyelid before I add even more texture on my eyelid. Now let's truly cut the crease. I'm only gonna do about a 1/4 cut crease. I don't want it to go all the way around and be super circular. Alright, that's probably not the cleanest cut I've ever made, but it's done. So I'm just gonna tap out the edge just to make sure the blend is gonna be really pretty. And now I'm gonna use the Morphe M167 brush and go into the shade Shatter. This shade is gonna go all over the front part of that cut crease. I don't know if I'm gonna quite do right at the inner corner because I might save that for a bright yellow pop of color, but not 100% sure yet. So we have Shatter on the brush. Ooh, that's so pretty. That is such a yellow gold. It almost looks like I went into the yellow, but I didn't, I promise. And I'm just gonna start packing this shade right on the lid where the cut crease is. Actually, to spare some time, I'm just gonna take my ring finger and plop that down. It was building up fine with the brush, but not nearly as fast as I wanted it to. Man, that is a beautiful golden shimmer. Foiled buttery shimmer shade I've ever used, and it is taking quite a lot of pigment to build it up. I've gone into the pan, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 times probably, which using a shimmer on a fresh tacky base does take a little while to build up, normally anyway. I'm glad I went in with my finger and built it up some because it would have taken even longer to get it there. It's applying nicely though. It's building up nicely. It's just taking a really long time to get there. Okay, I think this shade is built up accordingly. It looks super yellow on camera. It's almost, I don't know if you can see the shimmer. I can't really see the shimmer on the monitor. I can't see any reflect, but in real life, it is like liquid gold is on my eyeball. It is definitely a super foiled yellow gold. Honestly, I kind of think it even pulls more yellow than it does gold. Either way, since this is the only shimmer, I need to now try and blend it in to this outer crease area. So I'm gonna use the JS9 brush again and go back into the shade Faded. And with this, I'm gonna pretty much do the same thing that I did on the crease. I'm just gonna do it on the outer edge of the eye instead, and I'm gonna take it almost to the middle of the lid. Just gonna put it right on top of that gold shade, and I'm blending in a way that pulls the outer corner inward because I do want to slowly progress that darker green tone onto the lid as well, but I'm not touching anywhere near this inner corner because I want this to stay clean and fresh and cut. I just want the outer edge of my lid to look more blended. Okay, and now I'm going to use the JS6 again, the Morphe M433, and go back in to Chronic a little bit and just pat that right on the outer corner and essentially fill in my outer V. So pull it down to the lash line a little bit and then up into the crease. And there we have it. Ah! I'm so excited that it's finally coming together after 2 days of turmoil. I may be making another mistake by doing this, but I'm gonna take a risk here since I don't have a whole bunch of shimmer, and I'm gonna go into the shade Wax with this little bitty Eco Tools brush. I don't know what it's called. Accent shadow brush. Yes, I do. It's an accent shadow brush. And I'm gonna add an accent shadow to my brow bone. I'm gonna start very lightly though because I'm very worried about it, just in case. And I'm just gonna start patting it in very lightly. Ooh, that's okay. I like that. It's like a green sunset. Then I'm just going to use the JS9 again. No more pigment added to the brush, but just going to use that to blend out the edge here. Make sure that those are seamless. I actually really like that. It's fun. It's different. Beautiful. I think the yellow is built up accordingly now. I'm pretty sure I'm also going to put that shade in the inner corner as just that bright pop of yellow. And I feel like that would kind of pull this brow bone and the inner corner highlight just together. What I see in my head is really pretty, so I'm hoping it's going to work. But to get to that point, we need to go ahead and get concealer down so I can finish off the lower lash line. So I'm going to go ahead and go off camera, do my concealer, my foundation, all of my face makeup, and I'll come back and we can finish off the lower lash line and sample the Ultra Matte gel liners. So give me just a few minutes, literally a second for you, and I'll be right back. My face is now complete. Finished everything but the lower lash line and nothing to the lashes. Oh, and I didn't put on a lip. I don't know why. I forgot. Either way, I need to go ahead and finish off the lower lash line before I go in with the liners. And really, I should have done the liners before I did my face makeup. I didn't think about it because I could have still cleaned up the side of the wings if I botched them. Now, whatever I do with them, I'm stuck with them. You know what? I should actually do the liner before my lower lash line because I at least have these edges and I could stick to those edges. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. We're going to do the liner first. So for the liner, I'm going to start with the Sigma E10 small eyeliner brush and I'm going to use the Melt Wallflower Ultra Matte Gel Liner. So it's the green shade and I'm going to start with that right in the inner corner, I think. Should I do green to brown? Or should I do brown to green? I think I should do green to brown. Yeah. I should do green to brown. Wow, that is so soft. Very, very soft. Curiouser and curiouser. I feel like I'm gonna need a lot more than that. Well, it does look quite beautiful. That actually looks really, really nice. It went on super smooth, had no jumping, no skipping. It's really, really creamy. Okay. So I took the green about mid eyelid. It's a little thicker than what I wanted, for sure, but it is what it is, you know? I have texture on my eyelids. It's just something that happens as you age. If you're young, if you're like 20 to 24 or younger, take care of your skin. Don't pull on your skin. Don't smoke. Drink lots of water. Just be good to it, you know? Treat it like you want it to be there later. Now I'm going to try and build up a second layer of liner and see how it can work if I try to build. Now trust me, it is opaque enough by itself, but I'm seeing what happens if I have to go over it just to finesse the edges. I want to see if it's those kind that kind of pick up themselves and start to make empty spots, or if it's the kind that stay still and let you build on top of it. Okay, great. It definitely lets you build on top of it. So it's stackable. It's beautiful, it's creamy. I like it so far. Now let's see if Spliff is the same. This time I'm gonna use a Lavish fine liner brush. Definitely the same creamy, almost moussey type consistency. It's a much wetter gel formula than most of the liners I've seen that are gel formulas. And I'm just going to continue this liner along the outer edge now. I'm actually gonna start out here a little bit so I can maybe work on the wing. Maybe I should start with the wing. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll start with the wing. Wow, that is really dark. It's almost black. Spliff is on, and this looks really good. Really, really good. I want to make sure that I have a smooth ombre between Wallflower and Spliff, which I don't right now. I kind of made just a harder edge because I wanted the lighter shade to be my blending shade. If I would have used the darker shade to be my blending shade, I would have ended up with the dark brown pretty much all over the lid, and I don't want that. So here we go back in with Wallflower. I'm just going to take it from this portion of the inner corner, or inner lid, whatever you want to call it, and drag it back into Spliff. There we go. Now we're getting this really pretty, like, grungy green. I don't know what to call it exactly. It's really nice though. Oh crap, I used the wrong brush. Oh no! I was wondering why it was such a dark green so fast already. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna pick up a little bit more Wallflower. This time on the brush that actually held Wallflower in the first place. Ooh, this is gonna be bad because I'm about to stack up a bunch of liner on top of a bunch of liner. But you know what? YOLO. Let's do this. Another good liner. Well, we're just having successful liner days in 2020, aren't we? Now let's hope that this dries completely matte and transfer proof, because I have hooded lids, so we're gonna find out pretty quickly if it is or not. This is fantastic. I'm so excited about how this looks. I don't know what it is about a wing, but the moment I add a wing, I feel like a bad. That is that moment when it just, hello, who are you? I can't do a tongue pop or I would. At this point, with the wings completely snatched, we can now move on to the lower lash line. And I kind of want to stick with the same kind of color story as I did in the crease, but I also kind of don't, because I want to, you know, just change it up a little bit. Why not? So what I'm going to do is go in with the Morphe E36 pointed blender brush, probably inner corner highlight brush, don't really know. And with this, I'm gonna go into the shade Faded. That's sort of my, I guess, my primary color tone that I wanted the entire look to have. And I feel like I have succeeded in that aspect. The entire look definitely does have that tone. I really hope this liner doesn't transfer. It looks so good like this. Now that I have that putrid green tone all over my lower lash line, I'm also going to use the Vintage Cosmetics Company's Step 1 for the Money brush. And I'm going to go into the shade Chronic again, and I'm going to take that onto the outer edge of the lower lash line. And this is really just to give me the same kind of gradation that I have on the upper crease, how it goes from the lighter to the deeper. I kind of want that same thing to be happening on the lower lash line as well, so it's consistent. However, it is going to be different. I'm going to change it. I'm going to add in a color that I haven't used yet. And that is the color Hash. And I'm going to use that with the Morphe M433 brush. And with this, I'm just going to get a light dusting of that color on the brush, obviously. Tap off the excess and just start blending out these shades with that shade. Essentially what I expect this to do is just lessen the severity of the pigmentation of those shades and make it more of neutral tones, I guess, in a way. Or who knows, it might just make it muddy and gross. We'll find out. No, I don't think that made it muddy and gross. It kind of just toned it down a little bit. Alright, those are all blended out. Now I do want to go back in just the tiniest bit with the Morphe E36 brush and the shade Faded again, just here on the inner corner, because I lost a lot of that pigmency on purpose, I know, on purpose, but now I want it back. And I'm allowed to change my mind. Yes! Next, I'm going to use this Appeal Gel Liner in the shade Forest Green. Oh, I think this is going to be so perfect. Then, I'm going to add the shade Wax into my inner corner. Do you see how beautiful this liner is with this look? That was perfect, and I love it. I really can't decide if I do want to use the shade Wax in my inner corner. It would be like, right there. You know what I mean? Is that cute or is that cute? Is that cute or is that cute? Is that cute? You know what? I can always do it later since it's inner corner. So, how about I go ahead and go off camera, finish off my lashes, mascara, and my lips, and I'll come back to give you my final thoughts on the Melt Cosmetics 420 palette, and I'll also decide if I'm going to use that color or not. So I'll see you in just a second. We are now officially completely done. We have the lashes done, we have the lip done, and I actually decided not to use a pair of lashes. I did get some out to use, but I ended up using this Blink Black Lash Primer that I got in this month's Boxycharm, and oh my gosh, did my lashes get super separated and super long. Then I went in with my Milk Makeup Kush Mascara because it seemed only fitting to use a Kush Mascara with the 420 palette. Then for the lips, I paired up a little bit of the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Weirdo and some of the Jeffree Star Cosmetics No Offense in the center. And I thought that was a really pretty ombre lip for this moment. I think it actually looks really, really cute. I really like the look. So all in all, would I recommend the Melt Cosmetics 420 palette and the Melt Cosmetics Ultra Matte Gel Liners? The liners, 100%, no doubt, in my mind, yes, for sure. The palette, I don't know. I don't know if it was just me using this yesterday where I just could not get it to stop being patchy, if I just didn't give it the chance to build up more, because I did stop as soon as I saw one patch. I didn't like try to finesse it. I was just getting way too frustrated, way too fast. You ever have those days where you're just like not in it in whatever it is, that was yesterday for me. I just was not. So I think that kind of contributed to why the dark shades weren't really working for me, mainly because I didn't try to make them work. So what that says to me, in my opinion, is that if you are a beginner and you're just getting into makeup and you want to try something out, then maybe I would not recommend this one as a starting out palette. The Rust palette, however, from Melt was fantastic and had really no issues that I remember, and it had a really beautiful color story as well. Just this one, I definitely needed to finesse it more than I did with the Rust palette. The moment I hit the deeper shades like Chronic and Roll It, I think I even used Dank a little bit. Anytime I went in those shades before, I just packed them on and started blending them out immediately, and it was Patch City. If there was a Patch City, we lived there. We went there, we stayed there, and that led me to taking it off. But now, I really enjoyed this time. I used the deep shade a little sparingly at first and then built it up, as you saw, and it completely changed things. And I'm really glad that I did give this another chance before I just said, nope, I'm done, I don't like it. Because now, I would recommend it if you are familiar with eyeshadows and you're cool with a green, yellow-ish color story. There's really only a couple of neutral shades that you'll be able to use if you did get this for neutral type shades, but it's a 420 palette. Why would you get it if you didn't want green? You know what I mean? So that's that on that. But what did you guys think? What do you think about the Melt Cosmetics 420 palette? What do you think about Melt Cosmetics? Or the liners, the magnificent, beautiful liners. What do you guys think? I want to know. Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation. You guys know that I love to talk to you guys in the comments, so by all means, leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. Also, let me know what you thought about this video. If you liked this review, if you did and you wouldn't mind, I would love it if you would give the video a thumbs up, because it does let me know that you like my content, but it also lets others know that you like my content. Also, if you like this look and you want to see more looks like them, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. My username is the same for everything. It's just ChristopherJMUA. And if you gain nothing out of this video, if you gain nothing out of any of my videos, please at least gain this. And that is to always remember and never forget that you are absolutely beautiful. And I love you guys. Bye.